Welcome, travelers. Thank you for tuning in for another Traveler Tuesday. I am Brooks. Today we are going to talk about the submittal process. I know a lot of nurses out there. You might be familiar with the submittal process. I know it's a little different depending on where you go, who you're with. But basically, our submittal process it's very easy, quick, to the point, and I'm going to share today how to get that done. First things first, the one thing that we require is a resume. An updated resume with references. The reason being is we conduct and do our own resumes for all of our nurses. So it's catered for the skill, everything that, every job you've had, we put that in the healthcare industry. So for an example, if you were, working at Walmart or Target or a grocery store, we don't put that on the resume, but if it's something within the healthcare industry, you were working as a CNA somewhere, you were working as an LPN, before you were an RN, we add all of that. It's just whatever helps get the job done to get the offer. So an updated resume is by far the most important thing, and references. Make sure we have 2 references that are supervisors. Reason being, we call, we ask different questions for them, and we make sure that it's a viable candidate. Once we have those 3, we move on. Certifications are always one of the first things we get. Your BLS, your ACLS if you're a med-surg nurse, your NIHSS if you're in the ICU, emergency department, TNCC. I mean, there's so many different certifications, degrees, licenses. If you have all of that handy up front, send it in. We'll take care of it. So now we have your resume, and now we're building the profile. We have the resume, we have the certifications, and then next what we're going to do is the skills checklist. Now this checklist, it's give yourself a little bit more credit. I tend to see a lot of nurses fill out these assessments. No, it's not a quiz. No, it's not a test. It's how proficient you are. I see a lot of nurses, it's from 1 to 4. And I see a lot of nurses put 1, like how often do you use CPR? How proficient are you in it? Give yourself more credit. You tend to do that stuff more than you think. Next, what we'll do after the skills assessment is we have our resume, we have our references, we have our certification, we have the assessment, and what's next is, I'm blanking right now. I am blanking. We have COVID card. That's very important now. A lot of facilities are requiring the COVID vaccination. Even if you don't have the COVID card, you have your exemptions. So whether it's the full vaccination card, religious exemption, health exemption, that's, we put all of this together. And what we do is we combine everything and we send them into the facility. Another thing that we have to talk about is during this process, we're also asking, hey, what time off do you have? Get all your time off in line so we can submit that to the facility. Not just that, we also do our own nurses check. So we'll go to the nurses website, LPNs, RNs, we'll take that, we'll put that in the profile, and that's just a verification that you are in fact, able to work in the nursing field. Last week, if you joined us, we were talking about compact licenses, single state licenses, that kind of goes hand in hand with the nurses. Like I said, I think there's like 34 different states that you can practice with a compact license, and then everything else would be, single state or really as is. Getting back to that submittal process, we also ask all of our caregivers, hey, what shift do you want? What are your what do you want? Because if I put you in for nights, I want to make sure that you can do nights. Now, I tend to have a lot of people, hey, Brandon, can you do days or nights? Well, Brooks, you know what? I prefer days. Okay, Brandon, if I get you an offer for nights, will you take it? And you can kind of judge. And the last thing we want to do is put a nurse into a position that they don't feel comfortable with. A lot of people can't do nights. A lot of people won't do days. So that's a big thing. Also, we always ask, when can you start? We want to make sure that we give ourselves, Voyage, enough time. We want to make sure we give the facility enough time, and we do all in-house credentialing. So I got a few offers earlier, and a few of them, they wanted to start right away, immediately. And I said, listen, I think it's reasonable if we go with this start date, and what we can do, we'll do the credentialing, we'll knock out everything, and if we can get you in, awesome. If the credentialing process goes, if we get you cleared, boom, right there. So that's a big thing. There's so many different things that kind of take place in that submittal process that a lot of people really don't understand. Like I said, people really kind of have a misinterpretation, like, hey, here's my paperwork here, done, submit me. Well, if I come back with a day's offer and you can only do nights, and it's in Wisconsin, that's something we're gonna have a problem with. So like I said, it's choosing what makes sense, and that all of that ties in that submittal process. We make sure that every time we submit, it's a phone call. Hey, Brandon, I have this. What do you think about it? This is the rate. This is the facility. We go over all the detail, because I don't want to miss anything. I don't want there to be any surprises. In this industry, surprises are not a good thing. So that really sums up the submittal process. You're more than welcome to ask questions in the comment section. You can email me, you can call me. We'll put the hotline number on here, or you can get in touch with a recruiter at any point. Any questions you have about submittal, or just in general, jobs that we have open, anything, feel free to call. Our staff is very, very personable. And like I said, right now is definitely the time that we're really working to get people placed all over America. So like I said, if there's anything that we can do to help out, let me know, and then we'll go from there. This is Brooks with Voyage Healthcare, Traveler Tuesday, episode 3. We'll see you next week.